I want to talk to you about dreams. Your dreams. Dreams that are so big that you are actually afraid of thinking about them, and just put them away in a little box in your head and never reopen it. Well, today I want you to reopen that box. Do you remember when you were a kid and you were asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? I do. I wanted to be, first of all, a singer model, then a detective, and then I wanted to be a manager. A lot of friends of mine wanted to be astronauts and pilots. And then they grew up and settled to be salesmen and accountants who played a lot of video games related to space. I know, it's not easy. We tend to grow up and settle for more safe options, for less exciting jobs. I have a large online following, and very often I read the comments of my fan base, and I see sometimes people saying, oh, but it's so easy to preach for you, preach about success and talk motivationally because you had it all. You have the looks, you had the right education, and you had the right environment to make it. And this is partially true, don't get me wrong. I'm extremely grateful for what life has offered me. But it is not the whole truth. Appearances can be very, very deceiving. I am the daughter of two very young immigrants who moved from a very unstable environment in Russia to the Italian part of Switzerland. And when as a very little kid I moved, the country was not acquainted to immigrants at all. So my parents and I were a very lonely, very isolated family who didn't speak the language nor had any friends. And even I, when as a little kid, was not accepted in school straight away. For instance, when a very popular girl threw a birthday party in elementary school, and it was like the event of the year, and I was waiting for it forever, she invited everybody, but me and a couple of other non-local girls. So I was left standing with in one hand balloons, and another hand my present, and I could not understand why would she let me out. So that night, I went to my parents, and I could not sleep at all. I was crying and asking them, what did I do wrong? Yes, it hurt a lot, but I reacted, and this formed my character. So quite quickly, I actually became one of the best students in school. And even for my parents, on the flip side, by not having a community that would speak their language or that would share their mentality and their traditions, forced them to integrate way quicker into the new community, into the new society. And for me, to grow up in very close to the Italian culture and to feel fully at home in it. So then years went by. As a teenager, my parents separated, and money became extremely tight. So I had to figure out a way, because I wanted to study, so I had to figure out a way to finance my studies. And so I did. I worked. I started to work as a model very early. Then I became a TV presenter in my country. And parallel to that, I studied. I graduated. I tried my way into finance. And quite quickly, I realized that I wanted to be my own boss. So I fell in love with the possibilities of self-determination that today's internet offers you. And I became my own boss by being what they now call a digital influencer in the fashion sphere. Through trial and error, I developed my own recipe to never give up on my dreams and to always aim higher. And by no means I am a life coach or an expert in this field, but I think this has worked magic on me, and I feel extremely obliged to share this with you. So here are my little tricks. So number 1, it's imagination. Draw your vision. Do you want a bigger house? Or you want a loving girlfriend? Or maybe you want to discover a new miraculous medicine? Do you want to travel the world and start a new business? It doesn't matter. Write it down by hand and draw it too. Even if you're not good at it, just draw it. It has been proven numerous times that our brain perceives and records images and pictures much better than words. And not only that, but if you can look at that image that you drew enough times and can imagine yourself living that reality that you created on a piece of paper, your brain will start believing that it's real. And one way or another, automatically, it will figure out the right steps to help you achieve your dream. I once found some scribbles and some drawings I made on a piece of paper years ago, and I was so surprised to figure out that actually I was describing exactly the life I'm living right now. So number 2, your identity is not fixed. Thanks to the internet, I actually realized that I can recreate freely my own identity and myself, and so can you. You are not either grumpy or bubbly, or stingy or generous, or either a winner or a total loser. You can be anything you want and anything you decide. But most of all, you are what you repeatedly say to yourself that you are. So mind the conversation that goes on into your head. It's been proven that your brain will start believing it. What you repeatedly say, it's what you become. So sometimes I get out of the house and forget something and have to get back and I'm late and I get extremely upset and say, I'm so stupid. Or I get a bad email and I was really hoping to get that job and I don't get it and I think, oh, I'm unworthy, they will never want me, it's my fault. And then I have to go back on my words. I have to stop thinking and be mindful of the fact that I'm putting the seed into my head of being unworthy, of being stupid. So I have to take it back. We are often so harsh on ourselves and we are never aware of it. Like, I wasn't aware of it. Are you aware of it? We are harsh, we speak badly, so start talking highly about yourself and you will start believing it. You are a winner. You are a beautiful, intelligent, amazing person who is absolutely worthy of love and to get whatever you set yourself to get. You are. Number 3. It's fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes, because I get scared. And it's normal to have doubts and to be unsure. And you have to accept it. But do not believe it. Do not believe everything you think. He doesn't text me back. Oh, it means he doesn't love me. Or my product doesn't sell in 3 months. It means my product will never sell ever again. It's very important to go through fear. When I started my web magazine 2 years ago, I thought, I'm scared. The competition is very high. It's oversaturated, but I didn't listen to my fears. I didn't let fear freeze me. I decided to go through it. And how did I do it? Number 4. I used the fear as fuel. Do you think that giving a TEDx speech is not extremely terrifying? I actually thought I'm going to run away. Then I thought, I'm going to fake that I'm ill in bed and not perform and just call and say, I'm sorry, I can't. I actually thought about it, honestly. But then I decided to take the leap and to use the fear as fuel, which this feeling of uneasiness, this feeling of frustration, I put it into productivity. I used it to write the speech. I used it to study it, and I left the fear in the background. I focused on productivity. So number 5, once you imagine it, the most important part is to start. A lot of people have great ideas, but they don't start. And there has never been a time in my life that I have not put very focused effort into something and I haven't been rewarded afterwards. It can be anything. Writing an email properly, a photo shoot, or learning a new language. Even when I was doing it without knowing why, eventually I got rewarded. So it's never too late. Just start and take action. And number 6, do not let them bring you down. Throughout my childhood and my teenage years, I never, ever settled for less than what I dreamed about. And I always learned how to shake off opinions of people who would say, it cannot be done. It actually really upset me. I was like, why? Why would you say it cannot be done? And then I learned, people who tell you, you can't do this, I don't believe in you, I don't believe in your dream or your idea, it's too big, it's too much for you, settle for less, are talking out of their own fixed identity and out of their own fears, and it has very, very little to do with you. Beethoven was told by his teacher to be hopeless. Oprah was said to be extremely unfit for television news. Me too. I was a small-town girl with a big dream, and now I get to travel the world to speak to an audience like this and to live the job of my dreams. And number 7. Number 7 is to commit to your dream. Life will test you and expect for it to test you. But always remind yourself why you started. Persistence and commitment are the biggest key ingredients in any successful venture. So whether it's just publishing a picture on a social network, or writing an article on my web magazine, or shooting a video for a brand I work with, I always put full commitment and 100% of my effort to do the best I can. A lot of people have big dreams, but got scared somewhere along the way and stopped daring. And then what happens? They become part of someone else's vision and of someone else's dream. And they create for themselves this fixed identity of, oh, I'm just a little man. Oh, I'm just a normal woman. Oh, I cannot do it. I'm just nobody. Your identity is not fixed. You can decide who you are. So you can call me a progressist, but I want you to believe in your dreams and to act on them. I want you to be the game changers, those who invent new fields and make everybody's life just a little bit brighter. Thank you.